That's a big question indeed, both of them. Who am I and my story? I think I am first the daughter of my parents with the history of my family. So I'm Nathalie. I was born in Belgium to a Jewish family who had lived through, and some of them died, in the World War II, so the Holocaust. And also my parents were hidden during that period of time in order to save their lives. And so that has a huge impact on who I am, and a baggage that I've kind of inherited in my youth, even though I was born in 1965. I feel that it's a big part of who I am. And I've had to learn to separate myself from that inheritance. And today I'm much better at understanding, that what a big role it has played on who I am and how I live. Because one part of my story is that I have moved a lot. I've lived in 11 countries now, and some of them for many years, some of them for a few months. And I think basically it comes from this inherited feeling of maybe being a refugee in some sense, even though I was not myself a refugee, but my parents and my grandparents were. And so there's a part of me that has inherited to not feel at home, to not feel safe. And so my work has been to know that I am safe. What I've learned more recently is that I feel safer now because I know how to put boundaries, how to say, not this. I was so insecure that I didn't dare to put boundaries, and I disrespected my own boundaries as a result because I didn't dare to put them. So that's a big part of being safe for me, is nowadays I know that I can be much more open because I know when to say no in a very healthy way, much more healthy than before. I'm also a sister of two brothers who died, and that's part of who I am as well. They are my big brothers, but I've outgrown them in age. They used to be my guardian angels, sometimes teasing and fighting buddies as well. And my big brother died when he was 28 from terrorism. And my second brother died when he was 42 of misdiagnosed infection, very suddenly, both of them. And it's been part of also what's shaped the way that I live, the way that I really try to ask myself, am I living my best life now? Because who knows what tomorrow is. Also making sure that I spend my energy with the people who matter to me, so that I don't regret the day that they are gone or that I'm gone, not having invested enough in that most important thing, which for me is relationship. And at the same time, I choose to live far away from the people that care for me and that I care about. So it's also about allowing myself to follow what is also best nurturing for me as a life, as a way of life. And I feel that I'm getting closer and closer to that. My story is, I was born and raised in Belgium, but I didn't feel the connection to that place. And I moved to other countries. Many years I've lived in Israel. I feel a mixed relationship with that place, with Israel. It's both wonderful and unbearable at times, and there's part of me that loves it and part of me that really can't stand it. Which is why recently, a few years ago, I decided to move back to Europe. And now living in Spain, in this beautiful place, wow. And also, work-wise, I've had to look for my place. For many years, I was working in management, more and more with responsibility. I got the credentials, I got the experience, and I didn't feel like I was fitting in, to be honest. I was like trying to prove something probably, but I was doing that in both the corporate world and also the humanitarian world. Humanitarian connection being that, you know, being daughter of hidden children and refugees, and I felt always, from a very early age, I felt the need to participate in humanitarian effort in one way or another, to participate in reaching out. So I did that for quite a few years in places like Kosovo, Angola, Haiti. And then back in Israel, I was a director of an NGO for asylum seekers. And I felt at some point that while I was putting in a lot of energy, I didn't feel like I was reaching my ideal goal, which was to have a real impact. And so last 10 years, I made a significant shift to something that for me is very connected actually, even though it may not seem like it, and that's doing work with leaders. And that is, everybody is a leader. And so I'm working in leadership development, and I absolutely love it. Yeah, I became a coach in the last, decade, and I feel sometimes I have to pinch myself to say, this is what I do. Like, I feel so, it's unbelievable that I can do this kind of work. I work with people that sometimes I don't meet them in person, I work on the phone. And initially I didn't believe that was a thing either. And now I feel so amazing when I do connect with people on the phone, and I do. Because it allows me to get to the heart of people. And I work with people in corporations mostly. So they're not necessarily inclined to be so open-hearted, and yet we get to the heart of things because people are people. And that's who I'm talking to. I'm talking to the person, not to the manager, not to the director. I'm talking to the person, and especially because I've been in management and I've been a director as well, and I've been very lonely there. I've been very isolated and in some ways, unhealthily so. And so for me to work with people who are in positions of leadership and to work with coaching them to connect with their humanity, that for me is a privilege and a gift of the work that I do. And some of the work that I do in person as well. And so I facilitate workshops, and then I see the people going through transformation from day 1 to day 3 sometimes. And that's a huge privilege. What a gift to be doing this work. I think women typically shy away from using our power. We, shy away from using our power, as we've been told not to. We've been taught it's not pretty to be, a powerful woman. And yet we have so much to offer from our power. So my advice is, it is beautiful. It is so womanly. And recently I've come up with this word that I actually really like, which is our humanity. Yeah? So our human humanity is so beautiful, and if we can only embrace that power, it doesn't come to the expense of other people. It can be pure, generous, and comprehensive, inclusive. So not to hide it, not to pretend like it's not there, to purify it, to work on it, to crystallize what's the essence of your own power, because we all have different powers, and that's something that we have a gift to the world. Hiding it, making us small, making us pretend like we're not, is, first of all, it's a farce, and it's like going into the closet. It's not real, it's not livable, it's not sustainable. And then for what? You mean to pretend and to make connections that are based on pretend? Then afterwards, well, actually, I'm this powerful woman, and might as well know it from the beginning, no? Might as well show it from the beginning. And by you being powerful, you're actually you're opening the door to other women to be powerful. not the other way around. And other men also to be powerful. You give permission by showing your power, not in a power over, but just by being the powerful woman that you are. I think it's marvelous. I think that's the gift that we've been given, and it would be disrespectful of that gift to try and pretend it's not there. Just be sure that you're not forgetting yourself, so that you are respecting yourself. One of the mistakes I've made is I didn't respect my own boundaries, and I paid, sometimes a high price for that. So respect your own boundaries, trust yourself, respect yourself. You are at the center of your life. Doesn't mean you're self-centered. It means you are the first one who needs to take care of yourself. Because parents, at some point their job is done. And so each of us need to take care of ourselves first. That means be safe. That means connect to other people. That means asking for help. That means experimenting, asking for what you want. And you may get it or you may not. That's another thing, except that you may not sometimes. Don't put yourself in danger. If something doesn't feel right, just trust that it's not right. Maybe not right for now, maybe later it will be. Don't push yourself to places that don't suit you. First of all, just love them, love us. Oh man, do we need your support? It's funny because powerful women, as far as I know, and it's true for me, is like we still want to be with powerful men. It's just a different kind of power exchange. So men, don't be intimidated by us. We need you in the same way that that we always needed you, except it's different and it's evolved. So evolve with us, join us, keep engaged, keep confident in yourself. You have so much to offer as well. And isn't it wonderful when we all can join in our power from a place of not belittling who we are, not making us any smaller, not playing small, not you, not me. So embrace your own power. There's room for that as well. And love women who are powerful, because